We're live.
Awesome.
Let's do this.
Oh, up this way. It's been a little bit since we played this game.
And I'm not very good at this.
I've gotten better with time, but no. The newer generations aren't as... Well, not that it's bad, but...
No, it's not bad. It's just not as good as it was for the past 3 generations.
True.
The unfortunate truth.
It seems like, well, since we're doing Halo, we'll use Halo as an example. Halo 5 wasn't as good as this one, or Halo 2. For me, Halo 2 was the best. Halo 5 wasn't nearly the game I wanted it to be, and it seems like more of the newer generation of games are like that.
Yeah, that's the newer generation. They'll give you as much content, have microtransactions all throughout.
Yeah.
Have gameplay that is all beginning to blend together. It doesn't feel unique anymore.
Yeah.
The truth is, when you take a game like Halo and you try and combine it with Call of Duty, it doesn't turn out too well. Especially when you try and throw in EA-style microtransactions.
Yeah. I bought Halo because I wanted to play Halo, not exactly play Call of Duty, you know?
Captain, the cannon was my last defensive option.
All right. I'm initiating
one of the things I don't like that they do with newer games now, like with the older games, you got more stuff, kind of like more things for your money kind of thing. It felt like...
Yeah, it felt like a more complete package.
Yes, like a more complete package. Now it feels like they give you part of the game and then they try to sell you the rest or DLC.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate the direction that gaming is going. That's what it looks like everything is becoming.
Yeah.
They've done that to a bunch of other series, not just Halo.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, most shooters that came out in 2015 suffered from this.
Yeah.
They're not the only games that suffered from it. Pretty much most games that are coming out in recent times are suffering from it. I mean, look at the price gouging for DLC with Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I've spent about $90 on the DLC for both Smash Bros. Games combined. And so it's almost the same price as both the Smash Bros. Games, but when you take into account that this is just DLC, you're only getting maybe a tenth of the amount of content. For $90, you get a tenth the amount of content that's in one of those games.
Yeah. And beforehand, you would have got like more for that. With older generations worth of gaming, you would have got more.
More bang for your buck.
Yeah. I believe we go this way. It's been a little bit.
Unfortunate truth.
Okay. I still got it a little bit for Halo, for this first game. Oh, I was saying because since it's been a little bit since we did Combat Evolved, I'm not doing as bad as I was expecting. Although we just started.
So that's reload. going to go out on a limb and say that this is throw grenade. No grenades. Yep, that's throw grenade. Cool.
Okay. You'll pick up some here soon. There's some grenade right there.
I'm not sure it's a good idea to give me.
I'll try to remember to stay behind you for a while. At least till you throw it.
That's okay. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, no, that was the way we're supposed to go.
Yeah. You already know I don't have very much experience with Halo games. So the only Halo games that I really have experience with are ODST.
Yeah.
So it's a relearning process. I still like the series, I just haven't really played it very much.
Haven't put the time into it.
Yeah, that's the reason why I got the Master Chief Collection.
I unfortunately put a lot of, well, not unfortunately, but I definitely put a lot of hours into this game, which is why I'm so disappointed with Halo 5.
Look at that. Yeah.
Oh, find us. Let's see. Oh yeah, if you go on the ship, you'll find overshield.
Using our lifeboat airlocks to attach their board
Shields are great.
We go out
Yep.
and they
Yeah, you know, one of my complaints about Splatoon, I thought Splatoon played really good. I thought it had great graphics, a great theme, really, really fun and unique gameplay, especially for a third-person shooter, considering that third-person shooters these days are kind of blending together, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, one of my complaints was that even though the game is really good, it really lacked content.
Yeah.
And, especially when you compare it to shooters, you know, just not even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You go back and play Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter 1 and 2, these games have significantly more content
Yeah.
than Splatoon did. Is the game bad? No, it's just the amount of content in the game in that $60 package felt like it should have been a free-to-play game.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like I'm getting more content than something like PlanetSide or some of these other new free-to-play shooters that are coming out. So,
Yeah. I understand that they have more to work with, that the systems are better than it once was, but still,
it's not a good trade.
yeah, it's not a good trade-off at all.
It's not. It's kind of
Yeah.
which, in the case of something like Splatoon, which many are calling, you know, Game of the Year and all that stuff for the time in which it came out, even though it is a good game and they do have all the weapons there, you can just switch between and stuff. You can't customize your own loadouts and stuff. You can't. There like certain things that are in other shooters are missing from this game.
Yeah.
So things like, as I said, customizing your own loadout, choosing the maps that you want to play on. Things like being able to just play with your friends without having to be forced into playing with your friends without having to be forced into ranked matches and stuff like that.
Or being forced to play online.
Or being forced to play online.
And having what was it? How Halo 5 had
no local co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing with Splatoon. There's no local co-op. The multiplayer that's there for local is pretty pathetic. It's some of the worst I've done in any shooter. And I mean, when you're comparing this to stuff like that was even on the Wii, like Conduit and Conduit 2, these games, they had so much more content than them. And then when you compare it to some of the best stuff that we saw on 360, PS3, the original Xbox, PlayStation 2, even Sega Dreamcast. It's kind of disheartening. It's not very great, and it's very frustrating to see that not so much just that publishers are doing this, but consumers seem to be completely, satisfied. Like this newer generation, yeah, this is great. I'll talk about my system and the pros of it. When all of the systems have games that are like this, exclusives that are doing this, and overall just it's very disappointing.
If they can get more money off you, they can. They will. And the younger generation of gamers don't even know the benefit of having, well, not benefit, but like knowing what it was actually like to have good games. Not that we haven't had good games. It's just like more
content in your games.
Yeah. And they're like, well, for some of these games, the only way you can get good content is if you pay for it.
Which is a complete shame.
Yeah.
It really is. And again, I'm not saying that every single game that's been coming out is like that, and every single game is a bad deal and stuff. I mean, look at the Borderlands Handsome Collection. That is an awesome game.
Yeah.
The Rare Replay. And even with its problems and issues, this here, the Halo Master Chief Collection, there's a lot of content in it. Of course, it would be great if everything was working as intended, but even then, I mean, you get a lot of bang for your buck. And then you go over and look at, for instance, Street Fighter V just came out.
Yeah.
And you have 12 fighters, no arcade mode whatsoever. It's like bare bones. It's pretty much multiplayer, local and online. There's no tournament modes. You can't watch what people are doing. I mean, it is quite possibly the most bare bones Street Fighter release ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And
it didn't used to be like that.
No, it wasn't like that all the time. It used to not be like that. There used to be a bunch more content in these games, and now it's. I
think we passed it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, it's on there.
You over here? There you go.
This way.
Yeah, there used to be a bunch more content in these games, and now it's pretty bare bones. That's the reason why myself, I go to, these websites and, just try and get, if I do buy these games new, I'm buying them super cheap. Yeah. I'm not willing to pay full, the full $60 for, minimal amount of content.
Yeah.
It's
gotten to the point where I don't even buy games, most games first day, because I know they won't give you it,
Exactly. I don't get a lot of games first day.
Oh, and I will step next to you, I think.
Yay!
Yeah, I was grenaded earlier.
I don't get a lot of games day one. And it's also one of the reasons why it's one of the many reasons I've switched over to, as I told you before, doing PC gaming as my main source. Not that PC gaming, is the best thing ever or anything. It's just when I go to a website like Bundle Stars, for instance, and pay, I don't know, $20 and get 60 games that would altogether cost me like $600 if I was to buy them only separately on consoles and stuff. Yeah. Obviously that's a no-brainer. That's the reason why I would go into it.
Yeah.
But I prefer to get games, earlier when they come out and stuff. But they have to justify this $60 purchase. They can't, ask me to pay $60 after buying, hardware, whether it's PC, console, handheld, or whatever. And then, do I go this way or?
I don't remember which way. I'm figuring it out as I go. It's been a while since I played this game.
Okay. Yeah. They can't ask you to buy expensive hardware, pay for services,
Yeah.
and get and buy all these upgrades for my hardware and all this stuff, and then deliver me software that does not justify the purchase of the hardware to begin with.
Like with Unity.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
With Assassin's Creed Unity. I mean, remember I was just telling you, I was looking for a reason to go out and buy a PlayStation 4 recently.
Yeah.
And I own all the current systems right now except for a PlayStation 4. And I think the PlayStation 4 is pretty cool hardware. I just haven't gotten it. That's because I found a really good deal on the Xbox One. That's because I was more interested in the exclusive games on the Vita, 3DS, and Wii U. And I've told you, I pretty much got my Vita for free. I didn't exactly get it for free per se, but
You paid pretty cheap for it.
Oh yeah, I got it on the cheap. I traded in stuff that I would never use, just old videos, hardware components that I would never use, and I ended up breaking in like $170. So that's how I got my Vita. And my Xbox One, I got it with a free game, which is Destiny, the Taken King, and the controller. So I pretty much saved $120 right there.
Yeah.
I was interested in taking advantage of that $50 off on the PlayStation 4. I thought it was a great deal.
Yeah.
And which it was, $300 for a PlayStation 4. You get Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and stuff. That's a pretty awesome deal.
Yeah.
But when I started looking, of course, most of the games that I was interested in ended up being games that I could get on my PS3, my Vita, my Xbox One, my PC.
Yeah.
So I could get these games on all sorts of different platforms that I already own. So I'm looking over at the exclusive games, and those exclusive games compared to games from the preceding generation, like the Infamous games or the Killzone games or some of these other games, I'm like, why would I go out and buy this new hardware if most of the games I can get somewhere else, or the games are inferior to games on systems that I already own from them previously? If it's going to have less content, if it's not going to be as good of a game, if it's not going to be, if it's just going to be ports of games and stuff, then what's the point?
Yeah. I'm the same way, because I've seen most of the games I play. Not that I hate PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
I like PlayStation, but just at the moment they have every game I've seen that I could get on PlayStation, I could get on Xbox or PC. So at the moment, I have no reason to get a PlayStation.
Exactly.
And I was telling you earlier, the only way I'm going to the only game I might get a PlayStation for is the Time Splitters remake that they're coming out with. I know it's going to be a little bit before they come out with it, but that's the only game I'm even considering, and I'm not even sure I'm going to do it. I have a few friends that have a PlayStation, and if any of them get it, I'm not even going to bother buying the game or the system. I think so. I think it is as well.
Street Fighter 5 on the PC.
Oh, are you still over there? Oh. Okay, they're dropping guys down at you. And there's a Banshee shooting at you too.
Anyways,
so pretty. Oh, wait, is this the... did we have it on the old settings?
This is...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was so sad you couldn't jump these when they attacked you and got close.
Yeah, but same one, so...
Yeah.
As I said, I was thinking about getting Street Fighter 5 on PlayStation 4 among many other games. And I'm like, oh look, Street Fighter 5. I could buy it off this website right here, get the CD key for it, and pay like $36 for it right now and have it on PC. And I was already annoyed by Street Fighter 5, the lack of content and stuff, but then I'm seeing it way cheaper than what it would be if I was to go and get it on consoles and stuff. And then I'm seeing that with other games as well. So I'm like, what's the point? If I can get all of these games over on hardware that I already own, and I can get and the games that are really exclusive aren't really interesting me, then I mean there's no point.
Yeah.
I mean it's one thing if there's a really good bundle, like as I said, the Rare Replay or Halo Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
In those cases, I don't own those games already. Those games are for the most part, games that I haven't gotten. I didn't own an original Xbox, and a lot of Rare's library I've never owned. I mean, let's be honest here. I like Rare. I liked them on Super Nintendo and N64 and stuff, but there's a lot of games that I didn't own myself.
Yeah.
And so that gives me a chance to go back and play those games. Rare Replay is a fantastic reason to get an Xbox One. If you're interested in Rare games, that's a really good reason. But in PlayStation 4, I didn't have those reasons. And this isn't against the PlayStation 4, but this is kind of the point with what publishers are doing. I mean, if there was a really awesome bundle, I would have had the system. If there was a really, really awesome really awesome deals or really awesome games coming from publishers that were exclusive to the system, I would own the system. But it's not like that at the moment. There isn't those really awesome exclusive deals that are coming, those exclusive bundles, that exclusive content. So, which is not just a problem with the PlayStation 4, but with gaming in general. So, if someone's not interested in Halo, or they're not interested in Rare Replay, and they have a gaming PC, then there's not much of a reason to get Xbox One either. If people aren't interested, and in Nintendo's favor, they have a pretty massive lineup of exclusives and stuff, but if people aren't interested in Nintendo games, there's not much of a reason to go out and get a Wii U. And again, I'm not dissing on these games and stuff, and I'm not dissing on the systems or anything like that. I'm not saying, PC or anything like that. I'm saying that the previous generations, this was not a problem.
Why?
This wasn't a problem with the Wii. This wasn't a problem with PS3. This wasn't a problem with 360. They had those exclusive games, and the publishers were putting out games that were worth the $60 purchase.
Yeah.
I mean, these massive games with a ton of content and stuff. Sure, microtransactions started getting worse towards the end of the 360 and PS3's life, but there was a lot of games that weren't like that. There was a lot of games that had a lot of content, a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, and then the DLCs you got had a lot of content on it.
I mean, look at some of the DLC, like for instance in Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, some of the and even Oblivion. And yes, you have stuff like the Horse Song and crap like that in those games, but you also have things like Shimmering Isles, which were massive, or the stuff that made Dragon Age turn into Dragon Age Origins, or the Grand Theft Auto 4 DLC, which was pretty big as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some pretty big things like that. Now it's like microtransactions.
Yeah.
You take a game that has a really cool idea, like Evolve, and it's like almost entirely microtransactions.
Yeah.
It makes it so that no one really cares about the game. No one really wants to play it.
Yeah. You have to pay for every little thing.
Yeah, you have to pay for every little thing. And that's just, we can talk about Evolve and be on that, but that's just one of many cases. I mean, the whole, recently, with the whole Toys to Life stuff, and Nintendo in specific, you have the Amiibo situation.
Yeah.
And those Amiibos, they're hard to find, they're rare, they're needed, or not really needed for games, but in order to unlock things there in the games. But you know, they're hard to find and stuff, and then once you start collecting them all, it starts getting crazy expensive. Like you're building a whole new platform.
Yeah.
So.
I think my biggest problem is the microtransactions. Because for Halo 2, I don't know if you got it, for the original Halo 2, that thing they came out with, you bought it and you got a bunch of
Maps.
Yeah. And now you have to pay for each single, if it came out like now, you would have to pay for each single.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying that they do it for Halo games, but just, it seems like a lot of games would have you.
Do that now.
Yeah.
You gotta buy the levels individually. You gotta buy the weapons individually. You
Yeah.
gotta buy the characters individually.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling that. It's getting really bad. And I mean, you know, we were playing Star Wars Old Republic, right?
Yeah.
And Star Wars Old Republic, when it first started out, it didn't have the cash shop. It didn't have microtransactions. The basic ones for play and stuff. And it's good that they opened up a free-to-play model, but the model that they have now, I mean, everything. It's like,
Yeah.
you have to pay extra for every single little thing. Even if you already bought the game and had subscribed before, you don't have all of that content.
Yeah.
You have to go and buy every single little small thing.
Yeah.
And this is PC we're talking about. I'm not talking about consoles anymore. This is PC. This is completely exclusive.
Yeah.
And you're having to deal with one of the worst microtransaction situations in a game.
Yeah. I was day one for that.
Yeah.
And I have to, and I paid for everything. And one of the things that really annoyed me is that, for me at least, and I'm not saying everyone had to do this, but for me, they wanted me. I eventually did this, but they wanted me to pay to have my things go between my characters. You know, like if I wanted to use a vehicle for one of my other characters, in order for me to use it and download it for that other character, I had to pay for it so everyone can use that. That annoyed me right there.
Oh, yeah.
I never went to. You didn't have to do that. Never went to. As soon as you paid for something in the store, all your characters got it.
Exactly. And that's why that game, it used to not be like that.
Yeah.
Now it's become so bad with the microtransactions. I mean, it's almost unplayable if you're not a subscriber. Even as a subscriber, the microtransactions are still there, and they are still horrible.
I'm not saying that everyone's perfect though.
No,
but they do have some stuff that only one or two characters can use. But most of the things, all your characters can use.
Mm-hmm.
The only these kind of things you can't use is if it's class specific kind of thing that I remember. I haven't gone through everything, but that was one of the things I never went to did that Star Wars.
They messed that game up so bad.
Yeah.
They made it. I mean, the whole leveling stuff and all that aside, the microtransactions in that game are atrocious. It is by far one of the worst ever in an MMO that I've seen.
Yeah, I know. It's like if you want this, there's a store you can pay for it. Or if you want that, that's a store. And it's like the speeders. The speeders are one of the things that really annoys me. They give you a speeder in the game, but it's crap. And then you can buy. They have a store you can buy at in game, but all those are crap. Only way for you to get a good one is if you go into the store and actually pay for it with real money. And I don't really want to do that. Oh.
Exactly. I don't want to have to mess with that either.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating what has become there. Because I remember playing that and it had a ton of content right out of the gate. But now it's changed.
Yeah.
It hurts. It sucks. It hits me right in the feelers.
Yeah. And that was me failing right there as a driver. Okay, well that's going to be it for us today, guys. More than likely, this subject's going to be popping up a lot for us because we're dedicated gamers, and stuff like this annoys us. So, till next time.